Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. This video is good 2, 3 weeks late. I think it's 3 weeks late. But we here, okay? And we are here today to talk about Family or Fiance. I think it's season 4, episode 3. I think her name is Tiara and Hakeem. Or no, it's Tiara and Aikeem, I think his name is. It was Crazy Angry Love, okay? Now, before we get into it, please hit that thumbs up button for me. Please subscribe to the channel if you already are not. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of the episode. And don't forget to share the video where you like to share your content. Um, y'all already know I'm in school, so I don't need to keep apologizing. I had a residency this weekend. But thank God the next residency is not until the week of April 25th, or the weekend of April 25th and 26th, which is my birthday. Y'all already know my birthday is April 26th, and I got school that day, so I'm pretty bummed out about that. I'm trying to figure out how to miss that one, but I'll probably go and do something after. Anyway, it's not quite Taurus season yet. Do y'all say Taurus or Taurus? I didn't ask y'all that before, but let me know in the comments how you pronounce it. Anywho, y'all already know I told y'all I was gonna catch up with Family or Fiance because I know a lot of my subscribers like to watch those reviews. So I said, I would catch up. Now I almost didn't do the review tonight because I'm tired. But I'm gonna tell you what motivated me. Somebody subscribed to the channel, and then I was like, you know what? People still subscribing. I gotta keep this thing going because y'all know sometimes I feel like, is it really worth it? Especially being in a doctorate program, but I'm gonna go on and do it. It's for fun. Anyway, let's talk about the episode. Another reason why um this episode was hard for me because it was a little bit triggering, especially hearing some of Akeem's stuff with his mom and all that. Was a little bit triggering. People trying to tell you your childhood wasn't the way you experienced it. I didn't, that was definitely difficult for me to hear. So yeah, that made it a little bit triggering. But we're gonna get into it. Y'all notice I'm in my other studio, okay, because a girl wanted to be comfy. Anyway, let's get into this video. So like I said, we have Akeem and I think her name's Tiara. They're like high school sweethearts. I think they're like in their mid-20s or something like that. Akeem had a pretty rough childhood. His mom has been off and on drugs. She would just leave the house and be gone for days on end. He didn't have a way to eat or he had to basically take care of himself. He was a kid, right? It was a lot of insecurities about what would happen to him. He was clearly neglected. He just went through so much. I feel so bad for him, right? And then Tiara, she had some trauma of her own because if y'all remember, I believe it was 2012 or 2014. I may have the year wrong. Correct me in the comments. But it was the year of that Pulse nightclub mass pow pow situation in Orlando. Um, and her and her cousin were there, and the cousin got, they ended up um offing the cousin, and the cousin passed in her arms. So she had a lot of trauma with that experience. Okay. Akeem's mom tends to get in the way of the relationship with Tiara and Akeem, and she kind of like she'll invite Akeem over for dinner, but doesn't want Tiara to come, even though they're like a package deal now. So they got a lot of things going on. So on his side, we have his mom, Venus, and her mama, which is his grandmama, coming, plus his auntie Nicole. Now the grandma and the aunt were wearing like these head wraps. I don't know what religion they were or culture specifically, but they're black. But the mama wasn't in all that. And then on Tiara's side, we had her mom, her god brother, and her friend, right? Her best friend. So, they're gonna do the task that they usually do. And y'all know it's been 3 weeks and I didn't rewatch episodes. I don't remember what the tasks were. But anywho, the bride talks to the groom side talks to the bride side. And so Tiara was, when they was split up, everybody came to the house. They split it to do the tasks, and Tiara was basically telling the mom like, he feels all this type of way about you, and so his family's acting so shocked. They're like, "Oh, we never heard him talk like this," and because this Akeem is worried that his mom could, overdose one day, and he's experienced all this, horrible things because of his mom's drug abuse. And the mom's like, "Oh, he never talked to me about this. He never said this to me." They're like, "Oh, we're surprised to hear this." And I was like, "How are y'all surprised to hear this? Like, what are y'all saying?" Like, it was just ticking me off, right? So anyway, and then even Tiara told her like, I want to see you get clean. I want to see you do well, all this stuff. So then he talked to her side of the family. Um, I think he did talk a little bit about like, having control of his anger and having boundaries with his mom and the things he needs to speak with his mom about. And even her mom was like, I would never tell, her that she couldn't bring you over. Like, I would never do that. Her family seemed to be, pretty solid. I'm not saying his family wasn't solid. I just didn't like the lack of accountability, and like them playing in our faces. So of course, they had the typical family or fiance spaghetti dinner, and this also pissed me off because they were, and I believe it was Akeem's side of the family, or could have been both families, child, I don't know, but they was pouring sugar in that spaghetti. That is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. And I've heard of people putting sugar in their spaghetti. And I'm like, why? Like, don't even make spaghetti. If you gonna put sugar in your spaghetti, don't even make it. Like, no, do not give me no spaghetti with sugar in it. First of all, I love making spaghetti. Like me, my auntie, we make a good, I got the recipe from her, but we make a good spaghetti. Okay, I'm not just bragging. I'm telling you, make a great spaghetti. But we ain't putting no sugar in it. Okay, we're not putting sugar in spaghetti. That is disgusting. Like, where y'all get that from? Is that a Florida thing? Somebody let me know in the comments. Like, what are we doing? No, please don't do that. Do not do that. Anywho, um, so they're at the dinner table and they're talking about the things they discussed in their tasks. And Akeem, I think, was trying to tell his mom, like, I went through all this stuff, dealing, growing up because you weren't there, you were doing them drugs, all that stuff. And then she was like, okay, I don't remember. This didn't happen. Like, you need to get over it. Da da da. Like, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. So he got mad and he stormed off and blew up from the table because he's like, they're trying to make me look like I'm crazy. Like, you try to tell me something didn't happen that I experienced. Like, there's times when the lights is out, all this stuff. He's like, he felt so gaslit, and I felt so bad for him because I totally get it. Like, don't tell me I didn't experience something that I experienced when we were growing up. Like, don't do that, right? Like, please don't do that. Something flashed on the screen. I was trying to see it. Anyway, like, don't play in my face when it comes to the childhood. Do not do that. And I just felt so bad for him because when someone's trying to make it like you're crazy or try to tell you you had you didn't experience what you thought you experienced, like don't do that. Don't do it. Anywho, um, so what's her name left the table. TR went left and she tried to calm him down and all that. So then the next day, I think this was before they met with Tracy. Well, you can see Akeem had tore the bed. Like, he was really mad. I don't. He was like doing something in the room. I don't know if it was the night before or the next morning, but I don't know if he was tearing up the room or he moving stuff around. But he was mad, right? And he has these anger fits, as they had talked about earlier in the episode. So Tiara was like, "Okay, what's wrong? Like, you need to talk to me. What's wrong? What's wrong?" So then she gets mad and blows up. And even I think his auntie or somebody tried to come talk to her, and she's over there screaming and yelling because like he's not saying, like, he's not trying to talk out whatever his issues are. So then it's making her mad, right? So they're just in this vicious cycle, as Tracy explains later on, and we'll get into it. And so I was like, but why is she mad? Like, why? When she was going off, I was like, wait a minute, why is she going off? I was so confused. She mad because he, man, he won't talk to her about it, basically. So then he went to go meet with Tracy, and then here she came, and it was real awkward. And so they were telling her about what happened. And so Tracy was like, you guys are in a vicious cycle because when he gets mad, he explodes and he gets quiet. He doesn't want to talk about it, but then you're mad and you want him to talk about it. And the more you try to push him to talk about it, the less he's going to talk about it. And it's just this never ending cycle. Like, how are we going to stop the cycle? And so it's at the point where Tiara is realizing, like, this is unhealthy. This is not good. They can't continue like this. And so I think Tracy asked them, does ever get physical? And I believe they said it does. That she will, I think Tiara will try to hit Aikeem at times. So um Tracy's like, ooh, child, y'all got work to do, basically. So I feel like Tiara might have had a task at that moment, but I don't really remember. But she might have talked to her mom. Yeah, she had talked to her mom and her friend about her issues and her anger and communication with Aikeem. But and that was a decent conversation with her. But the main conversation was when Tracy set them up to talk. Oh, I can't think of the lady's name, and she was on this latest episode from last week too. I cannot think of that lady's name right now. Anyway, she specializes in trauma though. It's a black lady, beautiful lady. Anyway, so she talked to Aikeem and his mom and fostered, facilitated them having a conversation where Aikeem could, safely open up to his mom about what he experienced as a kid. And the mom did apologize and she took accountability, and I appreciated that. And he told her how he's scared that he's gonna lose her one day because he already lost his dad, because his dad, I believe, is locked up. And he's like, I'm scared I'm gonna lose you too because I'm scared you're gonna overdose one day. So excuse me, y'all, I gotta clear my throat. So anywho, the mom was like, you know what, for you, son, I'm going to do my very best to get cleaned up. I'm going to leave all the drugs and everything behind. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to do better. So she said, she would get some help and not do drugs and stay clean for him. And that was good, but I hope she's doing it for herself as well, because I feel like y'all just want to do it for yourself. And he felt like she was pretty genuine. He took her word. You can see like the little boy in him in that moment. It was very good. Also, he was mad because at some point, if so, Tiara was like, "Why you even propose to me?" And she was acting like she wanted to call it off. And then he was talking to the auntie, and he was like, she told her giving the ring back, and even the auntie was looking crazy. But I think Tiara seemed like it was all too much, right? It was too much. So anyway, the mom's conversation with Akeem went well. So then we get to the blessing ceremony, and well, I think, is this the one? I believe, yes, this is the episode actually where they decided, Tracy told them they need to take 90 days to like separate and do individual trauma and therapy and like healing before they get married. So I think it wasn't really a blessing ceremony. Yeah, it wasn't a blessing ceremony. It was just them telling the family, like, hey, we need to take some time and deal with our individual issues before we get married. And so, they took their family picture at the end. They show the credits, and Akeem's mom is doing better, and they are getting their individual help. I don't know how much of a separate. It didn't sound like they took a full-on separation, but the couples never do, right? They don't like move out from each other when they're supposed to take the 90 days. And child, in this economy, I don't blame them. So, I hope they're doing better. I wish them the best. They both went through a lot. But like I said, it was very, very triggering episode for sure. Y'all let me know what y'all thought of that episode. I'm gonna try to get the rest done tonight, so y'all keep y'all's notifications on. And let me know what else y'all want to talk about, because child, already love got us waiting down to the summer. We got Somebody's Son. I don't even know what day that comes on. I'll find out and let y'all know in the next video. And then we got Never Ever Met. I think Never Ever Met doesn't even start till April, but I mean April is like week after this, like next week. Well, week after next, if you want to say it like that. So anyway, we got some stuff to look forward to, but we ain't, we're gonna be little silent for a while, right? But we'll find something to talk about. Anyway, y'all, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.